Runnin' with the Devil, a rock and roll adventure. Part 28. Bob, I yelled to the open air, we gotta talk. Bob then appeared in another, well, you know. Anyway, yes, Mr. Hardsell. That didn't take long. With all due respect, Bob. What the hell is this? I said, remembering what he told me earlier. What's what, my dear boy? He asked, like he didn't know. This. Bob, I said, pointing into the room, is this some kind of portal bullshit like before? Oh no, Mr. Hardsell. You must believe me, Bob began. I don't, I responded. Oh, that hurts me. Your words are like daggers to my heart, he said. You don't have a heart, Bob, I replied. Oh, yes. Well, it sounded good anyway. Now, Mr. Hardsell, I assure you that this room is exactly what it appears to be. A hotel room. No portal. No dreamscape. No bullshit. Do you think I would put this lovely lady accompanying you in any form of danger, or cause her fear in any way, when she has done nothing to deserve it? Just to satisfy my own, let's say, need for entertainment. You are the devil, I answered. Yes, yes I am. But I assure you, dear boy, that this is no trick. You see, I have used this hotel many times before, entertaining many different clients. I have always liked the way this room is designed, so I decided to use it in my little game that I played with all of you. This time, it is definitely real. If you don't believe me, go check that door over there, the one that leads to the bathroom. Go ahead. I'll wait, Bob said. Are you okay here? I asked Donna. Yes, she replied. I then looked at Bob, who in turn looked back at me. Scout's honor, Bob said, holding up 2 fingers, like a peace sign, and smiling. Keep this door open, okay, babe, I asked Donna. She looked at me with a confused look. Okay, she said. I then walked into the room, and began walking over to the bathroom door. I looked back to see Bob and Donna standing in the doorway. I put my hand on the knob, took a deep breath, closed my eyes, turned the knob, and opened the door. It was just what Bob said it was, a bathroom. A small toilet sat to your left, with a small sink and mirror next to it. A shower built for one sat to your right, and shelving with towels, soaps, shampoos, conditioners, and all necessary toiletries on it. I quickly turned around and opened the closet door, and it was actually a closet. Plastic hangers hung from a rusty pole, and the scent of musty air engulfed me. See, Mr. Hardsell. I told you, this is no trick, Bob said smirking. Now, 6 o'clock comes mighty early. Nighty night you too. He then snapped his fingers and, you know what happened. Donna still looked at me confused. It's a long story, babe. I really don't want to talk about it right now, okay? I asked. Sure, she replied, then shut the door. We watched a little TV. I'm not sure if I mentioned that the room had a TV before, but it did. We snuggled together, did some wrestling, talked, things like that. Now, I don't know why, but I feel I should mention that the walls in that hotel were paper thin, extremely paper thin. We could hear every noise coming from the room next to ours. And whose room was that, boys and girls? That's right. Edgar's and Rebecca's. There was howling, growling, screaming, moaning, laughter, banging on the walls, the sound of things being broken, heavy thuds to the floor, and lots of heavy breathing. Either someone was being brutally murdered in there, or having one hell of a good time. I was hoping it was the good time. Anyway, I arranged for a wake-up call for 5 o'clock, and we went to bed around 11. It was kind of hard to sleep with all the noise from next door, but eventually we fell asleep. 5 o'clock came, I got the wake-up call, then kissed Donna on the neck to wake her up. We shared a shower. Squeezing 2 people into a shower built for one is a great way to start your morning. Now, we had to get dressed in the same clothes as we wore the day before, as we had no fresh clothes, which is kinda gross. We made our way to the lobby, and enjoyed a free continental breakfast, coffee, boiled eggs, muffins mostly. We were the first to arrive. Tony came staggering out next, and sat down at our table, after getting a muffin, blueberry to be exact, and a bottle of water. Did you hear all that noise from Edgar's and Rebecca's room last night? They must have been fighting bad, he said. Yeah, fighting the good fight, I said. I don't know what that means, but I barely got any sleep, he replied. I laughed a little. Derek, Corey, Steven, and Ricky stumbled in from the bar, looking like a cross between a train wreck and the zombie apocalypse. They looked rough. They sat down at another table, and laid their heads on the top of it. Rebecca and Edgar were last to arrive. Rebecca was wearing Edgar's pilot's jacket, over her t-shirt, as well as the hat on her head. Edgar was wearing Rebecca's Red Cross hat on his head, with her stethoscope around his neck. The tape on his glasses was ripped, and they were hanging in a V shape on his face. They were holding hands and smiling. Girl. We need to talk, Rebecca said to Donna, waving. Can't wait, Donna replied. Hi guys, Edgar said. Derek, Corey, Stephen, and Ricky all raised their heads from the table and gave a drunken wave to Edgar, as the rest of us just said hi. Oh, look. Muffins, he said, as he let go of Rebecca's hand, and went to go get one, returning with two. A muffin for my muffin, he said to Rebecca, who smiled and took it from him. He raised himself onto his tiptoes as she leaned down, and they began Eskimo kissing, rubbing their noses together. That what the fucking fuck look returning to all our faces. Suddenly, a huge cloud of gray smoke appeared, dissipated, leaving behind, who? That's right. Bob. Ta-da, he said, I see you all have heeded my warning. Very good, boys and girls. Let's get going, shall we? Rebecca. What are you wearing? And Edgar. What is that around your neck? He asked. Rebecca and Edgar just stared at him, like deers lost in headlights. You too, Bob questioned. I love him, Daddy, Rebecca said loudly. You are a succubus, my dear. You are incapable of love, Bob said. People can change, she shot back. That what the fucking fuck look now appearing on Bob's face. He covered his face, sighed, and said, I don't have time for this. At least you're not dating a musician. Well, at least not a full-time musician. He then looked at us. His eyes then shot quickly to Edgar, and don't you get her pregnant. I'm not raising a bunch of snot-nosed little demon succubuses. You hear me, Edgar, Bob said with purpose. Yes, sir, he replied nervously. Now, let's go, he said, in an aggravated tone. Derek, Corey, Stephen, and Ricky stumbled to their feet, as the rest of us got up. Give me your keys. I'll turn them in at the desk, Bob instructed. We did as we were told. Now, wait for me in the limo. All of you. Go, he said still aggravated. We got to the limo, got inside, and waited for Bob. Bob came out moments later, and got in. He then knocked on the mirror, much harder than before, which let us all know not to mess with Bob today. After about a 10-minute drive, the limo stopped and the phone rang. Bob picked it up, and said sharply shortly after, right. He then looked at all of us, and said sternly, get out. We quickly did as we were told, opening the door ourselves. Bob got out last. We were standing outside of what appeared to be a radio station. Again, the sign was written in Japanese, so I can't tell you the name of it, and Bob wouldn't tell us. Boys, you can't go in there looking like that. You look like you just crawled out of hell's sewer. You look pretty good, Mr. Hard Sell, but we have an image to uphold. Bob then snapped his fingers, and suddenly we were all, including Tony, Donna, Edgar, and Rebecca, decked out in full metal gear. Ripped jeans, studded belts, bandanas hanging around our necks, well some of us did, leather boots, with hair teased to the sky, except me, mine was a big bush. I began to look at what everyone was wearing, it looked familiar to me. It wasn't until I saw Donna wearing my I Love Puppies t-shirt, and my old denim jacket, that it hit me. It was my gear. Everyone was wearing my metal gear, except for Tony. He looked like Meatloaf, in his Paradise by the Dashboard Lights video, only not as sweaty. I love Meatloaf. The food, and the singer. I have no idea where Bob got those clothes from. Anyway, this is my gear. I want to know how you got my gear, Bob, I said. I told you before, Mr. Hard Sell, that is not going to work on me. But again, I will tell you anyway. You left them in that wonderful house that the three of you were staying at. He then pointed to Derek, Corey, and Stephen. On the day you got arrested, remember? You've been arrested, Donna asked me. Yes babe. But we were set up, I replied. Oh. You're a bad boy, she said cunningly. Bob then continued, after you all were arrested, and I entered the house. I found your gear, your songbook scattered on the floor, and a bag containing your clothes, and something you humans call a tape collection. I snapped my fingers, and sent it all to hell, just in case I needed them in the future, and I did. You're welcome. Now, I'm pretty sure, you don't want to hear about all the events that we did that day, in vivid detail. So, I'll just give you a quick rundown. We had a 2-hour-long radio interview which went quite well. Derek, Corey, Stephen, and Ricky were all too inebriated to really participate, so I did most of the talking. Donna, Bob, Tony, Edgar, and Rebecca all hung out with the producer as we did our interview. We had a meet and greet session in the lobby of a local music shop, for all our fans. It wasn't as nice as B&B Music, but it was still nice. That took about 2 hours. The guys had sobered up enough to participate for that one. The 5 others waited on the side. I never signed my name, so many times, on so many different things before. My hand hurt afterwards. We did a promotional photo shoot in a photo shop somewhere, for all the newspapers and magazines, as the others waited. Another 2 hours. And after riding around looking at all the sights for the most part of the afternoon, we finally all had dinner around 5 o'clock, at one of Japan's finest restaurants. Again, I couldn't tell you the name of the place. I know 4 of the guys didn't have to eat, but they did anyway. No, I don't know what I ate, and I don't think I want to know. It didn't look like anything that a Japanese restaurant has to offer in the States, but it wasn't that bad. I don't know what Donna had, but hers didn't look good either, neither did anyone else's. We then made our way to the venue. We arrived around 6 o'clock. The show started at 9, Bob told us. We walked around for a while, checking out the backstage, and the empty seating area. This place is huge, Ricky said. This venue holds about 14,000 people, give or take. It is quite small compared to the stadiums and arenas that I have arranged for you to play it on this tour. But it is quite sufficient for an opening show, don't you think? The largest show we ever played is in front of you guys. I'll take 14,000. Right guys, Derek said. We all agreed. We quickly ducked back behind the curtain, to the stage, as fans started to pile in. On the stage, we saw huge lighting fixtures, on large metal scaffoldings, and all our gear from the plane, the drums on a 2-foot riser, and Tony's accordion in an accordion case sitting to the right of Ricky's guitars. How did you get our gear? I asked. Mr. Hardsell, haven't you learned by now that I can get anything done with just a snap of my fingers? Snap, snap, Bob answered. Don't we have to do a sound check, and inspect our gear? Steven asked. Oh, that was already done by your techs over there, while you were at your photo shoot. They will be in charge of making sure that all your gear is fully functional, and safe to use, Bob said. Edgar then ran over to them. Hi guys, is everything ready? He asked. They all nodded their heads, once. Bob then continued, they will perform every sound check, and every inspection, for every show, so you don't have to. After all, you are the rock stars, Bob said. I looked suspiciously at Donna, as she looked back at me. Derek, Corey, Steven, and Ricky all celebrated, like it was a good thing. I then took a look at the techs. They all looked like they should work on an oil rig, not as an instrument tech. They were all wearing noise-reducing earmuffs, like the grounds crew at an airport wears, and crew shirts. We have already adjusted the sound for tonight's show, and inspected all your gear. All you have to do is play. Now, let me show you to your dressing room. There you can relax, psych yourselves up, do whatever you want, after we take care of a little business. But no alcohol, or plant-based incentives before the show, boys, Bob said. What about cigarettes? They're plant-based, Ricky asked. Cigarettes are permitted, but nothing that could possibly alter your ability to perform at the highest level. You can party later, he said. I run a clean show, boys. As we started walking toward the dressing room, I took a look back at the stage, and saw something odd behind Steven's drum kit. Something that I had never seen before, behind any band's drummer, and I've seen a lot of stage performance videos. It was a large black box, with about 30 different colored wires protruding from the bottom of it, and about 20 or more little 8-inch speakers on every side of it, with 2 indicator lights on the very top, one green and one red. Hey, Bob, what is that? I asked, pointing to the box. Oh, that's so we can play the keyboard tracks for everyone to hear, since Edgar will be manning the soundboard, and will be unable to perform with you. That's all, Bob answered. Wouldn't you pipe that track in through the soundboard? I thought. I knew that was a lie. We don't do our own sound checks, or inspect our gear, and now there's some big-ass box, with little speakers on it, sitting behind the drum kit, that Bob just lied about. Something weird is going on here, I thought.